So yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's been a lot of things have changed. I'm sure with your guys' organization too. Now we have increased to a radio station and everything. So we have definitely grown, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah.
We're trying. We're
Oh,
trying.
yeah. I've been following, man. I've been following. And then you got the behemoth Jason Stein, man. He's growing faster than a Great Dane. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good guy.
He is
Yeah.
absolutely, man. He's giving me a lot of support when it comes to this radio station because there's been times, man, I just wanted to choke myself, wondering what the hell I got myself into. But yeah, he is a good guy.
There are times, absolutely times when you go do something and you're participating in something and you feel like, wow, did I just waste that whole weekend?
What's going on, Ron?
A lot of times it comes back several months later that it pays off.
Yeah, no, yeah. You're right, and I don't regret any of it now that it's up and running because I think we're helping out a lot of these musicians that they're so far behind the power curve between the time they served and now they're trying to start their careers as musicians and the people they're going up against, they've already done their time grinding and they're moving further into their career because they didn't have another career. They started out here.
Yeah.
So, it's good. I feel good that they've got a platform where it's just for them. To me, it kind of evens the playing field just a little bit.
Everybody needs a leg up every once in a while.
Yeah, I agree, man. And the stories that they have to tell, like Scotty and Shannon and all these guys, man, they all have their trials that they have to share. So, I mean, I think the world should hear them.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll go ahead and throw my intro up, man, and then we'll get started, all right?
All right.
Let's do it.
Hey, welcome everybody to Drunk Dudes in a Gun Room. Today I've got Wheels for Warriors, Jesse and Craig. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. How are
Doing
you?
great. Awesome.
Jesse's a Too Drunk Dude veteran, man. This is a second time for him.
Round two. I'll try and not knock anything on the floor.
Yeah, I'm a virgin. I'm a virgin.
Yes, indeed, Greg. Yes, indeed. So, Jesse, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into introducing Craig, and then we'll get into y'all's organization.
Yeah, I'm Jesse Cunningham. I'm the VP of Wheels for Warriors USA. I'm an Army veteran. I served 2 tours in Iraq. First one I did 18 months in the Anbar province of Iraq, guarding Saddam Hussein when he was on trial, doing escorts, doing convoys, all that kind of stuff. Came home I was home for 7 months. Wasn't really, liking the civilian life, and volunteered and went back and did a second deployment. And I was over there. I was in Camp Bucca, Iraq for another 12 months. Did 8 years total, Army Reserve. Yeah.
All right, man. Craig, what about you? How did you come to be a part of this?
Well, first of all, I'm not a veteran. I tell everybody I'm a construction worker, which is the truth. So I got into this through motorcycles, of course, through knowing people through motorcycles. And a friend of mine, Jade Bell, I'm gonna drop his name out there. He dropped his motorcycle one day. damaged it. I do a little bit of airbrushing, some artwork for on motorcycles, and he asked me if I could fix his bike. So I said, sure, and I painted up his bike, and we did a nice skull and CVMA skull and tattered flag coming off the back of it. And it's pretty cool, and it was all done. And he asked me if how much I wanted for it. And this is kind of where it all started at. He asked me how much I wanted for it. And being though my father was in the military for 37 years, and I saw how he treated people, and he would never have taken a cent for doing something like that. So I said, nothing, dude. It's a gift. And we both were like beside ourselves emotionally, the hugging and stuff went on. But through that, down the road a year or two, talking about how can we give what we get through motorcycling to somebody else. And the idea came up of, what if we gave somebody a motorcycle? What if we gave them insurance? What if we, fuel? And it went on and on. And we found a bike and got it fixed up and presented it to a veteran on October 8th of 2016. And that was 36 bikes ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just kind of, was like, it was supposed to be one bike, dude. Just one bike, and it went from that one bike to let's do it nationally. And that's what we've been doing. And we go all over the country. We just did one 2 weeks ago in Portsmouth, Virginia. But that first one was in Nevada. And the second one, I reached out to a friend of mine about a bike for the first one, and I got a bike for free, donated to me. And then I got a guy to fix it for free. It took 2 phone calls, and I'm like, wow, I'm badass. I can do this. So then I came back and I met Jesse and I met his group that he was with at the time. And I'm like, let's do this. And they're like, hell yeah, you're going to give us a motorcycle? No, I couldn't find I couldn't find another bike. No one would give me a bike. And I was like, all right, this is going to happen. So we went out and bought that bike,
Wow.
Yeah. And so far we bought a few bikes, but those were particular bikes that we needed for particular things,
Yeah, absolutely.
But we've had, well, like I said, we've done 36 so far. We have 6 more presentations to do this year, and we have all those bikes. And they're being built or finished being built already. And we're already starting for next year.
Wow.
We have a couple bikes already, and we have presentations scheduled for next year. Next year is going to be a big number next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So let's back up just a little bit. Let's talk about what exactly does the organization do for the listeners that are not familiar with you guys? How does the program work?
So Wheels Horrors USA is a 501c3 veteran nonprofit. 100% of every donation made to us goes into these bikes and into these programs. We pay our own fuel, we pay our own hotels, everything. It's, everything goes to our programs. But, when we first started doing this, we had an application process that, people could, fill out an application to, receive a bike and, be a part of the program. And we learned very quickly that there was a bigger need for the amount of bikes that we had. So we had to develop a way to not slow the process, but make it into an actual support group based,
Right.
an actual mission. So we started reaching out to veteran organizations and saying, hey, do you know a veteran that could benefit from this?
Right.
Is this somebody who would fit to be a part of your group? Would you guys, if we did a program for him, would you guys mentor him? Would you have him come be a part of your group, maybe help do some charity stuff or get him out of the house, get him involved, show him support if he's, struggling getting VA stuff accomplished, help him get his VA stuff straightened out, like whatever it may be. And that developed into our mentorship program. We're ironing it out every single program that we do, trying to make them better. But yeah, it's a very unique, we'll say, one of a kind mentorship program where veterans can be with veterans, be on a motorcycle, and just be there and get the support that only veterans can give veterans.
Yeah, I get that. And I can also see, without making it a program for where you're feeling a need versus a want, I could see how fast that list could grow, because I'm sure there was a lot of people like free bike. I'm in.
We get,
Oh, yeah.
I would say we get at least maybe 2-3 emails. They slowed down quite a bit. But yeah, we get probably at least, 2 to 3 emails a month where, hey man, how do I get a free bike? And we're like, well, that's not quite how it works. There are, these programs come about a couple different ways. We've reached out to groups and, explained our programs, and, they said, absolutely, we know a guy is perfect. They select the veteran, or maybe they'll have, 3 or 4 people they want to, vote on, or, decide who they want to do for their, program or whatever. But we've also had veterans come to us saying, how do I be, how can I be a program recipient? And, we ask them, are you involved with veteran organizations? And, if there's a veteran who, thinks that he would benefit from this, he can reach out to us, and we can, maybe talk to groups that he's involved with or things like that. But, it's a lot easier when we work with the group directly.
Yeah, I can see that. And, so the last time you were on, and I got to ask, because you guys were getting ready to head down to the Nebraska football field and give away a bike. How did that go?
That's what we're doing this year. That bike is still in the process of being completed right now.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys already gave it away.
No, it's that bike will be it's during the Veterans game against Maryland this year.
Okay.
Yep. The bike is being painted hand airbrushed by a veteran named Armando Villarreal. You can check him out, Villarreal Studios. Absolutely incredible airbrush artwork. He's got like some of his clients are like Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Hart, guys like that. Like,
oh, wow.
he does unbelievable artwork. So
he has huge skills.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He is painting this bike front to back with like the history of the Huskers. Just to basically tell, like, from the very beginning to where we're at now with the history of the Huskers. And this bike is going to be probably museum quality.
Wow. Somebody's lucky, man.
Yeah. That's top secret.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
The individual who's receiving it he will have absolutely zero clue up until the moment. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're actually pretty fortunate that we're able to do that several times, more than not.
Yeah.
The recipient has no idea, that they're getting the bike. And it is so cool to see the reactions on not only their faces, but their families' faces, like their wives or their fathers or mothers. It's like disbelief. And then, it's like, the tears start to flow,
I'm sure. I could imagine, man. Especially anybody that's into cars and bikes and stuff like that. There's not a lot out there that makes people, especially men, cry, in public. But you give somebody their dream car or their dream bike, and man, you see it all the time in all these shows, man. The water faucets just come on, and and they just
Absolutely.
start crying. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
Jesse brought up about the. Go
I
ahead.
was say one of my absolute favorite ones was Eric Bailey. The recipient, the sponsoring group had told him that he was one of 3 contestants or like remaining people that were going to be selected for the bike, and that the announcement of the person receiving the bike was going to be when we did the presentation. What he didn't know was he was the only person. No, there were no other people. And like the day of the event, man, he came and he had come up, and I had not yet met him, and he walked up to me and he was like, "So is this my bike?" And it almost got me for a second. I about said something. I was like, "Well, it could be." And we yeah, it was a pretty funny day. We even got delayed because the flag line and stuff was a little bit delayed, so there was like a
It was so funny to
delay,
watch him pacing back and forth.
Oh, yeah, pacing, sweating it, and yeah.
Oh
and
my God!
After we told him, he was like, "We're like, yeah, there was actually nobody else. It was you the whole time." He was he was very shocked.
And we'll use Erica as an example. We absolutely stay in contact with these guys, guys and gals. And Eric is like, he's my little brother. I love that guy and his wife. And I go, they're a couple hours away. I'll ride out or drive out and spend time with them and, do stuff with them. And, oh, they're awesome. We never would have met if it wasn't for freaking motorcycles,
And he was a veteran who, he benefited greatly from this. He's now running a VFW in Kearney, Nebraska, and he became the chapter commander for the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association for the group that he sponsored. He actually became the president of the chapter, and was very successful. So, yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like amazing stories.
And he has not only. I don't know how Eric's mentor is just freaking amazing. And we're so lucky that these people, these soldiers that participate with us, I mean, the way we get the names is somebody suggests somebody. And that person that suggests the other person is just outstanding in the first place for suggesting somebody else to get this,
Yeah.
And I will tell you that our mentorship program works. Our sponsorship works. I know.
So
I know that it freaking saves lives.
Yeah, it's actually a 2-part thing. So what Craig is talking about. So we have the sponsorship. We have the group who sponsors the veteran. They're the group that says yes, we'll do this for the veteran. And then you have within that group a direct mentor, one individual within that group who is available to answer the phone, who is a point of contact for us to reach out and ask, check on the veteran, how's he doing, things like that. But just a person to be available for the veteran. It's usually, a friend or somebody that's, close to the veteran or something like that. Just to be the kind of the tip of the spear, for a year for us to say, we need you to step up to the plate for this veteran. Are you willing to do it? And if you are, like, you be our point man. And it's working amazingly.
And they're volunteering for 24/7, 365, not like just during the day or on Saturdays.
Right.
They're 24/7, 365, and they are there, and it's amazing. These guys and gals are just top notch. We are so lucky. We get to meet the best people in the world doing this.
That is awesome. I'm just curious, and you don't have to name names or anything, but do you guys get a lot of like major companies doing this, or is this more? Is it more smaller mom and pop companies that are more family oriented?
What do you mean companies? You mean like sponsors helping us?
Yeah. No. Like people that are nominating veterans and being willing to have the bikes built and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Let's go there. The groups that we partner with are typically veteran motorcycle organizations. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that we're exclusive to them. We could be doing like the Marine Corps League or Reverent Warriors or,
VFW.
Yes, VFW, any group that has veterans within their group that ride motorcycles, and we can give them a motorcycle. On top of the motorcycle, we're presenting them with all their safety equipment: helmet, gloves, boots, chaps, rain gear, goggles. We give them all that. We give them fuel for a year. We pay for their insurance for a year. We pay tags, title, registration, all that.
Wow.
We partner with a local shop in their area because we do this all over the United States, and we get them to supply the veteran with a service agreement for a year. But like Jesse, like we were just talking about, the big thing is the bike's the shiny object. The big thing is we're getting that individual incorporated into a group of his peers, and big groups. We have like let's say zero sponsorship, but we have friends. Okay.
Right.
Like the other night, Tab Performance, they presented us with a $3,500 check, and then we have Exotic Customs, who has done priceless things for us. And then we have, like Spaz Cycle in Omaha and Edwards Cycle Works and Sand Cycle Works up in Ohio and Lost in the Woods down in Missouri. And these guys, holy crap, they build bikes for us that are like works of art, and they take nothing from us.
Wow.
That
is awesome.
So I was asked this morning, how do we raise funds? Okay. Do we have any big sponsors? No. We get funds from a guy at a gas station that walks up to me when he sees the van, and he opens his wallet. I tell him what we do, and he opens his wallet and he gives me every cent in his wallet. And I say that because that just happened 2 weeks ago when I was heading to I was going to Michigan. So, and that was at like 2:30 in the morning. He saw the van and walks up to me and says, "What's going on with this? Tell me about it." And I told him, and he like wells up and he says, "My brother killed himself 2 years ago. He's a veteran, and my grandfather killed himself 2 years before, and he's a veteran."
Wow.
And holy crap. If we weren't doing stuff like this, we'd never hear things like that,
Yeah.
And can you imagine? I mean, we're alone at 2:30 in the freaking morning at a gas station, and this stranger, who actually ended up being a sheriff in civilian clothes, but we have countless stories like that, countless stories.
The other thing too, the story on what we're doing is it's not just the story of the veteran and who we're giving the bike to, it's also who we're receiving these bikes from. We get calls from people all over the United States that say, "Hey, I heard about you guys. I have a bike I would like to give you." We travel across the U.S., go pick up the bike, and then we're hearing stories from these people donating these bikes that, this bike belonged to my wife. She was a veteran, but she died. Or this bike was our son's, who he died, and we want to, give you his bike to give to a veteran. Or we had a veteran in California who was losing his ability to care for himself, and one of his last decisions was giving his bike away to us. The bike, it to be honest, wasn't worth the gas money to go out and get, but we were in desperate need of bikes at the time, and we went and got it, and we brought it back and made that bike brand new. And that bike went to a veteran that it absolutely changed his life, and he will forever cherish that bike. So,
and he just sent me a picture of him with that bike yesterday, and he was our seventh recipient. And we've had that discussion of what is the value of the bikes. That should we be going to picking up these bikes, spending $1,000 in gas and whatever to go pick up a bike in wherever, and what's it worth when we get it? I don't care what it's worth when we get it. You know, the thing is once it's done, that thing's priceless, and you can't put a price on it.
No,
So
you're saving lives. So I mean that's just there is no price for that.
we're trying, we're doing our best to change lives. If saving a life is part of that, I mean, we don't go around beating our chest saying, "Oh, look at us," but we love what every one of my board members loves what we do, and we're in it 100%, and we just love it, man. It's changing people's lives, it's helping people, and the more you give, the more you get back.
We do have one veteran too that his mentor hadn't heard from him in a couple weeks and called to check on him. Was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And come to find out, he had like messed up his back really bad, and he was kind of already in a bad way on the meds that the VA was doing with him and stuff, and they were trying to get him, leveled out and ironed out, and he hurt his back and kind of everything went downhill really quick, and he called and he knew he wasn't all right, and he's like, "I'm coming to get you. We're going to take you to the VA. We're going to get your back checked out. We're going to go figure this out," right? So they went and did that, got him squared away, got his meds squared away, got him leveled out, and then he got a call, I don't know, maybe a few days or a week later, and it was from the veteran calling the mentor, and he said, "Thank you for doing that." He's like, that meant a lot to me. And he's like, "Oh, that's what this is all about. This is, what this program's all about." He goes, "No, you don't understand." He goes, "I had already written my suicide letter, and I had planned on committing suicide that evening." And he literally intervened in that veteran committing suicide.
Yeah.
So if every program that we do from now until the end of time, if that is our only success story, that one success story is enough.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
It's proven. It's an amazing program, and it's for me as a veteran, it's my healing, and it's it's awesome.
No, yeah, I definitely get it, and I personally don't ride, but I have a lot of friends that are veterans, and that is, they all talk about wind therapy, and there's a lot of times I've had buddies that when they get off work that they're just on their bike and you don't hear from them for a while, and I just know what they're doing, and so I do get it. I've never experienced it, but I do get it. And that's the one thing I like about this podcast, man. I get to learn all these different ways, that's kind of how the radio station started, was interviewing all these musicians and seeing how music has helped people. The outdoor with Mo Betts and all these others, there's a bunch of hunting and outdoor groups that I really relate to because I love to hunt and be outdoors. So, I mean, I get to see all these different organizations. And so I consider myself to be really lucky because I do this, as often as I can, as many times as I can get people to come on the show. So I think it's great to see organizations like this. And I'm a firm believer that at the end of the day, the mom and pop, the small organizations is what is going to make the difference. The VA is I'm not going to talk bad about them because I personally like the VA that I go to, but their hands are tied. They can only do so much, and they get everybody that goes through those doors, and it's the small organizations like you guys and Deuce Outfitters Ministry and all these other organizations that are out there. They're the ones that are boots on the ground. They're the ones that are literally there after the hours when there isn't nobody in their office that they can call. So, I mean, that's another reason why I'm a fan of the small organizations. I think you guys, and not to, like you said, not to beat on your chest, but I think you guys are literally the first organization I've heard that is 100% goes back to you guys pay for your own fuel to go get
Oh, yeah.
stuff, and in this time, a lot of people can't do that, and
You
so
know,
I think that's great too.
like I said a little bit ago, you give. The more you give, the more you give back. Okay, so talking about paying for everything, I went out to Portsmouth, Virginia, to do a presentation last month, and my dumb ass, I look at the app, the motel app, and I go, oh, I'm not really sure where I'm going to stay. I'll pick one later, right? So I didn't pick one soon enough, because when I finally decided to choose, they were all sold out, except for the most expensive one down there. Okay, and it's right on the harbor, and it's freaking expensive, And I'm like, wow, that's like a week and a half at a motel for 2 nights, and a normal cost. But I did it. I paid for it, right? So the guy says to me, nice young man at the front desk, he says, Mr. Tupin, I'm sorry, but we don't have, I had my son with me. He says, we don't have a room with 2 beds. And I'm like, well, what do you got? He goes, well, I'll upgrade you to a suite. Okay. But it's only got 1 bed, but it's got a couch. And I looked at my son, he's 35. I looked at my son, I go, you're sleeping on the couch, dude, And, they gave us the presidential suite. So they upgraded us to the presidential suite. So I'm talking about like half the floor on the 17th story of this building, the tallest building there. And it was like, holy crap, So, you get your rewards, for what you do. Sometimes they're a little different than other times, but you get your rewards. And even if the reward is just in your heart, it's worth it,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the other side of that too is we're an open book. If people make donations, they want to know, like, what do my donations go towards?
yeah,
We'll show you. We'll absolutely show you what your donations go towards.
yeah.
When you're running a nonprofit, you need to be transparent, and
Absolutely.
if for what we're doing and what we're providing, we're not gonna risk that. We're doing something that's so much bigger than us that if people want to know exactly how shop is run, that's how we are. So
there's other groups out there that do similar stuff, and they'll like raise money and go buy a brand new bike and things like. To me, that's not quite the same as
Right.
It's like Jesse said. Every one of our bikes has a story on the way in and on the way out.
Yeah.
Every one of them. I was talking about I was going to Michigan the other, a couple weeks ago. I went there to see a gentleman that donated a bike. He was dying. And I got there just in time. And I'm leaving for Michigan Sunday for his funeral. And he gave us that bike because he couldn't use it anymore because he had cancer, and he wanted to give it to somebody. He loves our program. He knows me. Oh man. And he wanted a veteran to have that bike. So we made it happen, We made it happen. And the veteran that got it is a Marine. And Marines cry. Usually when they're choking on that yellow crayon, but yeah, they cry, So every bike has a story, in and out, everyone,
Yeah. And I never, when we first started talking this, I never even thought about the people that donated. It was the other end and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people, that they thought about the people getting the bike. But you're absolutely right. The stories about that come with that bike.
Absolutely. The gentleman that Jesse was talking about, the mentor that walked in on his friend and took him to the hospital, he actually moved down to Arizona to work down in Arizona. His wife got a job down there, so he went to a shop in Arizona. While he's working there, a lady walks in and says, "Hey, I have this ultra classic that my husband Tom used to ride, and he got killed on his Y Glide, and I've had it for 2 years, and I don't know what to do with it." And our friend Randy says, "I know what you can do with it." And she gave it, literally within 15 minutes. He gave her my phone number. She called me, and I'm like, I'll be on the road tomorrow morning. And this was over Thanksgiving. So I was literally at a motel Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
And picked up that bike the next morning. She had it for 2 years and didn't know what to do with that bike. But once she met Randy, he's like, "I know what you can do with it." And she was all over it, and so thankful. God, so thankful that I came out there and just, he loves it,
Yeah.
And yeah, every bike has a story, dude. Every bike.
And I think in a way, and I'm sure this is the way a lot of the people look at it too. This is a way that the loved ones that they remember with those bikes live on. They're living on through that veteran that is now
That's
riding
exactly
that bike.
that's exactly what she said. She said Tom's going to live on through whoever receives this bike.
I have the perfect example of that, and that is with the mutual friend that Craig and I have. Her name is Patty. She donated her husband's bike, who passed away. Craig actually rode with him years ago before Craig and I ever met. And when I called Craig and said, "Hey, I got this friend Patty who wants to donate this bike," and I was talking about the bike, and he said, "That's not Brian's wife, is it?" And I said, "Well, actually, yeah, it is." And he goes, "Well, I was friends with Brian and rode with him before he passed away." So she donated the bike, and it went to a female Marine Corps veteran in Nebraska, and that's the perfect story right there of
Yeah.
And that veteran that received that bike, she is freaking amazing, but she participates and is part of a veterans organization, a nonprofit that takes veterans hunting and fishing. And that girl, she is just the best. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, we get to meet the best people in the world.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We are just, you know what? We're lucky to be able to do this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's how I feel about this podcast. It's and it's funny, and I always laugh. I still laugh every time I tell this story. But where I work, when me and my buddy started this podcast, I think the only thing that they know, the people where we work at, know about podcasting is Joe Rogan. So when we started this podcast, they didn't know we were standing there, but there were some people around the corner that was talking, and we heard them say, "Well, it won't be long, and they won't be here no more." And the other guy said, "Well, why is that?" And he said, "Well, they just started this podcast. Once that money rolls in, they're going to quit." I'm still waiting for that day. But
we're gonna celebrate with you when you do.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that day will ever come, because I ain't looking to become no corporate man. That is for sure. I just love what I do, man. I get to, like you said, I get to talk to some of the most interesting people and hear some of the coolest stories. And I don't have to go anywhere on travel. I meet people from all over the United States, like with the Contagion Effect. I don't know if you guys had been on the Contagion Effect, but yep. Eric and Mike are awesome dudes. I catch their show every Thursday. And it's just the people that you meet, Jason.
Yeah.
I'll be up there for Hero Stock. I'm going to live stream it. I think the world should see it. I think the world should hear about it. So
well, then you're gonna witness a Wheels for Warriors USA presentation because we're gonna present a bike to a veteran that night.
absolutely. If you guys don't mind, if you don't mind, I'll live stream that too.
Absolutely.
That one's actually, so that bike is being done by Southeast Community College. We've partnered with them a few times, but they got an amazing power sports program that they step up and have done. The bike that we were talking about that we picked up in California, that we went back out there and got, it wasn't worth anything. They tore that bike down to every nut and bolt and rebuilt that bike back brand new and presented it to a veteran as like a class project, and that's what they're doing with this one as well. So amazing program helping veterans. Shout out to Milford Power Sports program. You guys are amazing.
So let me tell you a funny story. I still got beef with you, Southeast Community College. When I was graduating high school, I went on a tour to Southeast Community College to discover what college was about so I could be a mechanic. And I loved that school. And then they told me what it cost. So needless to say, I went in the military. So I still got beef with you.
Well, that school's different. It's a lot different now than it was when you were going.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's grown. It's changed. They developed their programs. They got awesome people running their programs. I mean, the best people.
It was a good school back then too.
Yeah.
They've invited us to come into their planning meetings and stuff like that. I mean, they've been absolutely incredible. So
yeah. I got a buddy of mine. He's got his degree in animation through Southeast College. I think he got his associates through there, and he went back and got his bachelor's somewhere else. But yeah.
The days of a 4-year degree and a business degree and all this stuff is out the window.
Yeah.
2-year tech school making $90,000 out the door.
Yeah.
We're talking about how the program affects like different family members and stuff. We have a mentor, not even a recipient. Okay. A mentor out in the western part of the state that his father digs what we do so much that he put on a raffle, a gun raffle, and raised $10,000 for us.
Wow.
And he came to a presentation. Now this man, he's a giant. He's not a little guy, and I don't mean he's fat. He's tall and he's a man, He's a
bear man.
Yes. And he comes up to me at the presentation that his son was a mentor for, and he hands me a check for $1,000. And I'm like, holy crap. That doesn't happen very often. And he is standing there with tears in his eyes, telling me if he could, and he'll find a way, but if he could, he'd give me more. He'd give us more. Wow. Well, he found a way, and he did a gun raffle, and he raised $10,000, and he presented that to us at one of our presentations out in Kearney, Nebraska. And I'm telling you what, there was a lot of tears and a lot of hugs, and we are dear friends, and his whole family. Well, that's what we formed doing this. We created the Wheels Warriors family. It's not just strangers. We're all connected now.
And this family extends across the United States, and it's growing.
Yeah. Well, the motorcycle community is a family. Everybody that rides in towns, they know each other, whether they're in clubs or whether they just ride for fun or whatever. You see it just within the people. They all go to the same rallies, the poker rides, the little fundraisers and everything. And it doesn't matter what group or who you're with or whatever. So it's a tight-knit group to begin with. So
well, yeah, you get down to the root of it, okay? I get on my bike and I travel all over the United States. And I'm leaving on the 24th for 6 days. I'm going to get on my bike and I'm going to ride all day, every day. for 6 days. I'll probably do 4,000 to 5,000 miles in 6 days. Okay. People ask me, do you ever worry about like breaking down or getting stuck somewhere? No, I don't. I don't worry one bit about it. Not because my bike is great or anything, and my bike is great, of course, but not because of anything like that, but because I know that if I'm stuck on the side of the road, the first motorcyclist that comes by is going to stop and help me. So
Yeah.
even though I'm alone, I'm never alone,
Yeah.
you know. And then if I'm here at home and I have issues, I have my friends that are motorcyclists that I can reach out to, because I always say, you know, motorcyclists don't leave other motorcyclists stranded on the side of the road or in life,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And that young man right there, Jesse, has been there for me more than once. And we've both been there more than once for others, you know, and not just talking about giving them motorcycles. Well, I'm talking
Right.
about like phone calls at 1:30 in the morning that could end tragically, but we're fortunate that that hasn't happened, you know.
That
So
is awesome.
that's kind of the root of the deal, is that we are trying to give others what we get from motorcycles ourselves, you know.
Yeah. And when you're passionate about something, that makes a world of difference, you know, because you already care about it. And then when you already care about the veteran community plus the bikes, man, you got all that love that's going behind it as you're doing it. You know, when you first started out, like you said, that second bike, you guys, to keep it going, had to buy the bike yourself.
Yeah.
And from there it just kept going. So yeah, I relate. You know, that's kind of where I was at with this radio station. You know, that Jason and people from Operation Encore just kind of kept pushing me, and I'm glad they did. So yeah,
Well,
it's
we said that you know, once we committed to a program, no matter what, how whatever needed done to get it done, we would do it. You know, whether we've had a bike donated to us, or we've done axe throwing events and golf tournaments and things like that to raise money for a bike. We got a bike that we gave away. We're actually coming up on the 1 year anniversary for our next program, May 20th. It'll be 1 year that we gave away this bike, but it was the bike belonged to a friend of all of us from Wheels for Warriors, but a close friend of mine who unfortunately committed suicide. The bike, it was a 2019 Road Glide, still owed $20,000 on it. His wife needed to get rid of it, and I asked her, can we fundraise to raise money for that bike and then buy the bike and give it to a veteran? And she said, absolutely. We did an axe throwing event and a golf tournament, raised $20,000, paid off the bike, gave it to a veteran, and we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of that date of when
that
he
is
received
awesome.
the bike.
And every bit, it was
the
all
veteran
from
that-
those fundraising efforts that were paid for that bike. We didn't take any money out of our coffers to pay for that bike. That all came from the fundraising that was specifically for that bike.
That is awesome.
The veteran Justin that received that bike, he was a battle buddy of mine as well, but we had a mutual battle buddy who unfortunately committed suicide. He spent when our battle buddy died, he lived in Iowa and was working nights, and when he got off of work, he would drive to Nebraska and watch our battle buddy's kids while his wife went to school so she could finish her degree. And then he would stay up with the kids, and then when she would come back home, he would sleep for a few hours, drive back to Iowa, and then work all night. And he did that for over a year while she finished her degree.
Wow.
In that time, he had actually helped two other veteran families that were out of state, battle buddies of his from a separate deployment, that they had actually attempted suicide, and he was there helping their families and traveling back and forth for that as well. So he's now married to the widow of a veteran who committed suicide. So
He is an amazing young man.
absolutely.
I can't say that enough.
It sounds like it.
the way there is absolutely no other person that is more deserving of that bike than him for all of his efforts and everything that he's done. You know, that's, you know, like Craig said, you know, 36 programs, 37 programs, you know, that's one of our stories. We
Yeah.
have so many more stories.
Well, I'm gonna tell you if something I think would be really cool if anybody was interested. If any of the people that you guys gave bikes to would be interested in coming on with you guys on the show, I'd love to have them on and just talk about some of their stories and the rides and
Oh yeah,
you know,
we can get. All I got to do is make a phone call.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. I would love to have them on, you know, and then maybe, you know, if I ahead of time get some of the pictures of their bikes, you know, we can show the bikes while we're on. Dude, I'd love to hear their stories, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that would be really cool. You know,
Yeah,
That's
we can do that. I have a young man here in Lincoln that I actually drove out on my birthday out to Oregon, picked up a bike in Oregon from a veteran, Marine veteran, who was a friend of mine. And made, you know, he's one of those guys. It's like everybody's scared of him because he's so big and freaking like sounds mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big teddy bear, you know. And I went and picked that bike up and we brought it back. And the young man that has that now is just like, it's the best thing that's ever happened to him, you know? And he rides it everywhere and he loves it and he takes awesome care of it. And as a matter of fact, I went to his college graduation party the other night, you know? So
That's awesome.
it's not like a one and done. Here's your bike and go do. We participate with these people, you know.
Yeah,
And
and that's what I like about this program, man, is well, it's not even a program, it's like you said, it's a family
yeah,
because you know, once you give them a bike, they are now in your circle and you know, they don't leave. That's what I like about it, you know.
we actually developed within our board a veteran outreach officer. So we actually have somebody on our board who their sole duties and responsibilities are to keep tabs on our veterans. You know, we have you know, their contact information, we have their sponsors information, we have their direct mentors information, you know, and any one of our veterans, you know, even after their 1 year mentor program is technically up, you know, they're still a part of the family. They can reach out to us for anything that they need. So, you know, we actually have one person assigned that is dedicated solely to our veterans.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, guys, where do people go if they want to find you and try to nominate somebody or become part of it or
Yeah, we our website is www.w the number 4 wusa.org. And then we're on all social media, Instagram, Facebook. You can look us up.
now one thing, our website is down right this moment. It's being rebuilt by
okay?
profession. You know, over the years we didn't have. Well, we still don't have money, but we surely didn't have money to pay somebody to build us a website.
Right.
Well,
Donald,
Jesse
you'll
met
like this story. You'll like this
Jesse
story.
met a gentleman. So
Yeah, you're a hunter, right?
Yeah.
So Jason nominated me for the Band of Heroes Outdoors hunt.
That's right. Yeah, he did
And
tell me about that. I forgot about that.
I got to go out to Pennsylvania and go to Whispering Hollows Exotic Hunting Preserve and do a ram hunt. And I actually shot a Angora Catalina ram and a Doll ram while I was there. So absolutely amazing. The gentleman Justin who filmed everything, he actually builds websites and does that type of stuff. So while I was there and doing the hunt and he was filming everything, he told me he was, you know, talking about what things that he does. And I was like, wait a minute, like there's no way that we just met, because that's exactly what we needed to revamp our website. So we talked to him and he actually did Jason's website for Hero Stock. So yeah, which anybody
It
out
looks
there,
nice.
man, Hero Stock is where it's going to be this year, man. It's going
I
to be
agree.
amazing.
Dude, I'm excited. Hey, Ron Riley's got a question. He wants to know where he can go to order a shirt.
That is so we just got this hooked up too, man. Working with Jason and all the the veteran organizations. If you're a veteran and you have an organization, you're doing podcasts. This is what's amazing is we're all connected. We're doing different things. Jason got us hooked up with Deuce Outfitters and those guys and their printing and all that stuff. So the person who does their printing is just a town over from us. They're doing all of our printing, and we just switched all of our orders in. Just did our first order. They're actually setting up an online store. So as soon as our website is up, people can actually get on there and order directly from the website, and it'll be shipped to them.
That's awesome, man.
So
once it's ready, let me know, and I'll make sure Ron knows so he can order himself a shirt.
And Ron can always come do a presentation because we're always selling shirts and hats at presentations. And you can find out where those are at on our website too.
He says he needs a Crown cigar to celebrate. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna cut it a little bit short so I can catch some of the old contagion effect there at 8:00 and not run into their show. But man, I appreciate it. Let's set up something, man. I'd love to have you guys back on and do one with some of your guys' sponsors, man. Show off some of these bikes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Jesse will take care of that for you.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, just let me know what date, and even if it's not on one of my normal days, man, we'll schedule it.
Sounds good, brother.
All
Perfect.
right, man. Hey,
Thanks
I appreciate
for having us on.
Hey, no problem. You guys take care. Be safe.
All right, man.
See
Later.
ya.
Thank you.
Bye.